How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm gonna make something that I have never done before, but I've had a lot of, and that is we're gonna make some pickled northern pike. So this is the northern that I caught out on Lake of the Woods in either one of the last videos. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead, get this guy made up. Now again, I've never made this before. I've just found a couple recipes online, and I'm gonna kind of combine them, do my own thing, and we'll see if it turns out. So, first thing we gotta do is go ahead and get our northern cut up. So, I went ahead and cut this up just like you would a walleye. Not the best at filleting northern. I don't clean a ton of them, but made her happen. Got some nice fillets out of it here. I'm gonna go ahead and just dab them off with a paper towel here, kind of get some of the slippery off of them. And then we're gonna go ahead and we'll get them cubed up. We're gonna kind of do them into, I don't know, bite-size type, maybe a little bigger pieces. Now I'm not removing any of the bones in this. That's kind of the perk for pickling them, is you don't have to remove the bones. They kind of just dissolve or turn to mush in the meat here. All right, we've got our northern cubed up into kind of fairly small cubes here. Some of them bigger ones I cut up even smaller. Some of the thin ones, like the tail pieces, I left in a little bit bigger because they're a lot thinner. So now we're gonna go ahead and fill our jars. Now, I don't know if we're gonna get it all into one jar or it's gonna be two, but we're gonna kind of try to probably evenly divide it into two jars. So, and I know you don't wanna pack it. You just kind of wanna lightly just drop it in there. For the brine portion of it, looks like we're just gonna make one jar, and this was, if you guys caught that video, I wanna say this was a, what was this, like a 26-inch northern or so? So not a giant by any means, but a decent fish. So there's our jar, just kind of lightly dropped in there of the northern in the jar here. This is a quart-sized jar. So we're gonna go ahead now and we'll make our brine. All right, now for the first step of actually turning this pickled northern, or this northern chunks I should say, into pickled northern, is we're gonna go ahead and use half a cup of this canning and pickling salt and put that into our glass measuring cup here. Well, this is a 1 cup measuring cup, so we'll use about half of this here. This doesn't have to be an exact science, this is just kind of a approximation. So we'll go ahead and we'll get about half a cup of our pickling salt here. Then we're gonna go ahead and add in, I don't know, however much seems about right, probably a cup, maybe a cup and a half or so of white distilled vinegar. Let's add that into here. Again, this isn't an exact science. We're just gonna go, we'll fill it up to the, I don't know, we'll go a little over the 2 cup mark, about 2 1/3 cup. And we'll go ahead and get all that salt nice and dissolved. Now I saw some guys, they'll just put the salt in and then they just dump the vinegar over the top and kind of mix it in the jar. I don't know, I decided just to do it this way. It just kind of makes the guy feel better that your salt and everything is getting nice and mixed in here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and just dump our mixture, or pour our mixture right over the top of our fish here. Lightly kind of put that on. I'm just gonna give it a couple of shakes here, make sure it's all in the juice. All right, well then first step, sure, we're darn easy. All we've got is our cubed up northern in a quart-sized jar with our brine in there. We're gonna go ahead, pop it in the fridge for 5 days, and after that, we'll get back with you guys and do the next step, and that's where we're gonna get a little more creative with this. All right, so it has been the 5 days. This has been sitting in the fridge. Every day or so, I just kind of go in there and give it a few tips and make sure it's staying all kind of mixed together and everything, not that the salt or anything is settling to the bottom. So the next step in this process is I'm gonna go ahead, dump this out into a colander in the sink and rinse it under cold water until I'm confident that all that brine or the salt vinegar mixture is rinsed off of it. That way it should eliminate it becoming too salty. And then we're gonna put it in the glass bowl here and give it a little ice bath. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it rinsed and we'll get right back with you. All right. And what that's gonna do is, for one, cool the fish down to make sure we retain the nice firm texture to it. It's also in a water ice bath that's gonna help remove or kind of draw out any remaining salt and that vinegar brine that may be in the meat. So we're gonna go ahead and let this sit for 20-30 minutes or so while we prepare our other ingredients. All right, well, next things comes first, and we're gonna go ahead and start layering in our jars. So this is where I'm gonna make 2 jars. Now I don't know if they're gonna both end up full, probably not, but obviously with a plump full jar of our Northern, if we, you know, it all won't fit. So we're gonna go ahead and try 2 different types. So in one jar, we're just gonna be adding in some pickling spice. So this is nothing special, this is just regular pickling spice, a tablespoon and a half. And we're gonna be layering in onion with that one. And that's all gonna go in one. And then in the second one, we're gonna do our same tablespoon and a half of pickling spice, but we're also gonna layer in the onion as well as a few whole cloves of garlic and some jalapeno. And we're gonna go ahead and build these both at the same time so try to get the fish fairly even. So the first thing I'm gonna do is just put a little bit of onion in the bottom of each jar. And the reason I'm doing that is just to make sure that none of the fish kind of sticks right to the bottom of the jar and ends up, you know, not getting our full brine on there. So then we're gonna go ahead and just put in a little bit of fish into each one. And I'm gonna go ahead and make this one our spicier one. So we're just gonna sprinkle in a little bit of this pickling spice into each. Then in our spicier one, I'm gonna go ahead and drop in just a few jalapenos and a couple cloves of garlic. And we'll go ahead and add more fish. So for our brine, or the liquid portion to it, we're gonna go ahead and just use 2 cups of white distilled vinegar. And then we're going to use 1.25 cups of just regular old salt, or not salt, sugar. Regular old sugar. Oops. Go ahead and throw that in there. You can go ahead and heat this mixture on the stove to get it to dissolve a little bit easier. However, if you do that, just make sure that you get this like ice cold before you add it to your fish. Otherwise you'll kind of flash cook the fish, and that's exactly what we're trying to avoid here. So we're gonna go ahead and fill it right up to the top. Or, you know, probably leave that 1 inch or a little, maybe 3/4 inch head space, but just making sure that everything is well covered. I see a couple jalapenos and onions want to float, but as long as our fish is covered, those will sink down as they absorb. So we'll go ahead and put our lid on here. These both look absolutely awesome. I am super excited to give these a try, but they've got to sit in the fridge for a minimum of 5 days before we can give them a try. And as Tom Petty says, the waiting is the hardest part. All right, well, it has finally been the 5 days since our fish went into the second brine or mixture here, and I cannot wait to give it a try. So let's do that. So here's the regular one without the garlic and jalapenos here, and here's the one with the garlic and jalapenos. As you can see, the brine got darker in color from the pickling spice. So let's see what it's like here. Go out and dig a piece out here. And in this particular piece, I don't feel any bones, so let's go ahead and give her a try. Very, very good. This one here is exactly what you think of pickled fish should taste like. It's nothing special, nothing crazy, it's not spicy. If you've had pickled pike before and you've got that flavor in your mind that somebody gave you and let you try one night or something, that's exactly what this is. Just simple, straight, delicious pickled pike. Same exact recipe again, just with the jalapeno and garlic in it. We'll see what this is like. I'm curious how spicy it's gonna be and which one I prefer. Whew, you definitely smell the jalapenos and garlic in there, that's for sure. Let's see here, get us a piece of fish. Ooh. again, the same, very, very firm. Looks the exact same, obviously. It's not spicy at all. There's no heat to it. You definitely taste the garlic and jalapeno though. If you like jalapenos like I do, you'll definitely love this. So both recipes are absolutely delicious. I can't say I like one versus the other, honestly. When I make this again in the future, I will probably do the exact same thing. I'll make some of one and some of the other so you guys got options. The only thing I would change, once again, I would do everything the exact same. I would just put the pickling spice in a little pouch of like cheesecloth, and then tie the top with a little bit of string. That way you don't have your spice, you know, sticking to all your fish and stuff if you don't like that. That's probably a change I would make, but give this a try for yourself. It's super, super easy, and it's absolutely delicious. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button to not catch any new videos I post. And until next time, you guys have a good one.